Okay, so last night
Just keep going.
we went to the Stand Comedy Club in Edinburgh, in Scotland,
Yeah.
and had an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you remember about that?
Well, we got there and we got a pint of hard cider, and we sat in the front, right front, dead on in front of the microphone.
I did warn you
Mm-hmm.
that sitting in the front in a comedy club
I
can
didn't
be
mind. I knew it
interesting.
wasn't
Yeah.
for. And then the MC came out.
Oh, what's this guy doing? Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh. So
I
then
don't know. Just keep. This is your idea.
So the MC came out to talk about the show, and he was asking people where they were from and then giving them a hard time.
He went around all the UK before he got to America, and we were like the third people. And then he asked you were from, or both of us, I guess, like San Francisco. And he focused on you. He was like, "What's your name?"
I said Dan,
Yeah.
which I would say because that's my name.
He was like, "You said that like it's a question."
Well, he thought I did.
That's what I know. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Why would I say what you said? You're saying what you said.
Yeah.
This is,
There's a van right next to us who's trying to turn around, and I'm not sure he knows what he's doing. We may die, or at least he may hit us. Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
why are you so bad at this?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm not a good storyteller, but
Yeah.
you're better than me. But all right. Yeah, and then he was like, So he asked his name, and you said Dan, and then he said that like you're not sure about that. And you're like, I'm confident that's my name, and he liked that. He was like, oh, Dan, and then he did this fun a bit for Americans too. How would you explain it?
The thing about guns
Yeah,
and
like,
yeah, you know, the stereotype that we all love our guns and we're patriotic, and yeah, it was pretty good. Not so much for Northern Californians, but for Texans certainly. Yeah.
That's how everyone thinks about Americans. Don't lie.
Yeah, perhaps.
Uh,
So then he wanted us to get the crowd pumped up for the first.
he wanted you to get the crowd pumped up.
Yeah. So he asked me if I could do it, and I responded, "Fuck yeah." Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, that was the second time. The first time.
I
Yeah.
see.
And yeah, and then they brought out the first comedian.
But what did you do? Till you get the crowd riled up?
I went, "Woo!" Yeah, something
He
like
liked that. It was better.
Did he like that?
Yeah. And then
Yeah, louder. I was
yeah.
louder than that. We'd had a few drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple acts, and then it was like 9:30, and our car park closed at 10, so we had to get back to our car. But the guy who was like tending the bar said that we should try to come back, and so we were like, we'll see. And then we had a cab driver that got us super fast back to the car park, like 6 minutes. Got to the car, decided come back, yeah, sure.
Which was really Ryan's idea. I was leaving up to him, so I was glad that he wanted to go back.
Yeah.
So we figured, why not?
Yeah, why not? So we drove back, parked across the street. Who knows if it was legal? It was fine. We parked there, came back to the bar. A couple other Americans had taken our spot, but the other act hadn't even come on yet. It was like 20 minutes, and we'd already made it back. So we took a seat in the far back corner, and then
And just as we did, the MC was out,
Yeah.
starting to introduce the next guest, and he was talking about us.
he was like, "Those guys, they went to their car park," and then someone was like, "They're still here." And then he's like, "What?" And then we were like, "Yeah!" And he was like, "No way!" And then
He said, "They're back," and then the whole crowd.
everyone clapped. He's like, "Dad is back!" Everyone clapped, and then when he went out and the next act came out, he was like, First of all, who's Dan? I've never seen like anyone in the audience get that big a round of applause.
Yeah, I was becoming famous.
Yeah, so then that went on, and then they took another break, and during the break, the other Americans had taken our seats left. So then the guy who told us we should come back in the first place, he said that we should take those front seats again. We were like, why not? So we take them, and then the MC comes out to introduce the final act, and he's like starting up, but then he like looks down, he's like, no fucking way, Dan! And then
Good accent there.
I'm
impressed. Yeah.
And he's like, this is crazy. He's like, this is the best like Tuesday crowd I've ever seen. Wow. No one's ever been here, been replaced by some he was like boring American shits. And then come back. And then we got a second round of applause. You got a second round of applause. And
yeah, we were having fun.
yeah.
And he was going on and on about the people that had taken the table from us and how bad they were.
Yeah.
You know, he gave them a variety of names. In the UK, they like to use a derogatory word that starts with a C. They use it a lot.
Frequently.
They use it a lot. I'm not gonna
everything.
include it here. But they were called that and other things. And yeah, so they were just really happy we were back in front.
Yeah.
And the people on the tables on either side of us, they were happy we were there too.
And the MC, when he was like, Dan, I'm sorry, but I want to make... He's like, after tonight we're going to get drinks and we're going to make sweet love.
I think he used a different word for that too.
I don't need to do that.
He made it very clear that he was straight, but
yeah, he was like, I'm straight, but we're going to... And then he was like, what's your relationship? And I'm like, I'm his son. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just told your dad. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, you said that, like, oh, he gets that all the time. So.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
So then we saw the last act, and then he came back out, and we got a little more love. He said that we made his night, and so I told him he made our night too.
You guys had a little moment.
And then he said afterwards we should go party.
At the casino.
At the casino,
yeah.
right. Yeah, we didn't do that. We thought about it.
Maybe tonight.
We weren't sure if he was serious. We didn't want to take him up on it and then find out he was joking and then feel
Right.
rejected. That would have, that would have been a bummer to end the night that way. So we just decided to go with it. So yeah, it
happened.
It definitely happened. I think we
awesome.
enjoyed that interaction as much as the comedians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even maybe more.
Yeah, so that's why it was particularly special. And hopefully, the crowd enjoyed that as well.
I think they did.
Yeah,
I think it was fun for everyone.
So we were kind of like part of the
we were an act.
part of the show.
Maybe we were.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Good talk.
Good talk.